You're good.
Okay, well, welcome. We're missing Randy Hill tonight, but welcome to the Oregon Trail Council weekly Fireside Chat. And it looks like we've got Rob behind the scenes again. We have Melissa Hogan on with us and Mark Sandefur, who's going to talk to us quite a bit about training tonight. And Mark, as we get into it, I want to talk about training, but at the same time, I'd really like you to talk to us at some point too about what you guys did this summer to get the outing into scouting.
Okay.
Because I know there's a lot of units out there that are trying to do that as much as possible. So I'll just start off with some updates. If Randy joins us, that's great. Otherwise, just want to update some people on what's going on. We talked about it a little bit. We are in the process of doing some work. We had some people out there starting the process today. We've submitted plans for a new shower house at Camp Baker. We're in the process of we're still in the process of raising the money for that, but we've done I think just our board has done a great job of getting that kicked off and going, and exceeded our initial expectations, but continue on to raise a total of $250,000 to help not only that project, but a new health lodge as well. So we're working on that, and the progress, the project has started already. Moving forward, our hopes are that we've got that done by the end of January, and it should be good to go for us for the summer of 2021. And we're expecting that hopefully COVID-19 will be not as prevalent as it is now, and we'll be able to get back into camp and run some summer programs. So that is moving forward. Next week, we're really excited in the council because next week we have our virtual day camp. And, registration, as it sometimes seems to happen in our council, was a little bit slow at first. We were a little bit concerned about how that was going to go. Rob and some others sent out some reminders to get that going. Here's your last chance to get on and make your reservation for day camp. And we went within 48 hours. We went from 33, I think it was, signed up to 82. And at that point, we were at capacity. They've got some great packets that have all been shipped out to people, not only from across the 6 counties that we serve, but across the country. We've got several people from Michigan and Washington and other parts of the country that are going to be involved in our virtual day camp as well. So we're really looking forward to that. Starts off on Monday with a flag ceremony and some things on Monday. Happens throughout the week with 3 live areas, I think Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Isn't that correct, Rob? You can unmute yourself.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Okay. So, yeah, we're really looking forward to that. And we expect great things to come from that, because that kind of gives us an idea of what some other things that we can do moving forward as well. And we look forward to the feedback that we get for those that participate in it. The other thing is, our whole staff today and half of the day tomorrow have been on a national all-staff conference for the Boy Scouts. And I think I had 5 sessions today, and most people had at least 3 sessions. A lot of what we're talking about is membership, and how we're going to drive membership, and how we're going to get the word out there about scouting to those that are interested in joining scouting. And there's a lot of things going on, a lot of different ways that people are trying. I tell you one thing, one of the things that I keep hearing is kind of a bring a buddy theme and campaign. And I look, and right now we've got just over 1,400 scouts registered in scouting in Oregon Trail Council, and we have 192 of those, I believe, are female. But if every one of those scouts brought a friend, that might be interested in joining Scouts, all of a sudden we double our population. We have 2,800 Scouts in Oregon Trail Council. The other part of it is we want to make sure that we've got scouting available in every community, so people don't have to drive 5, 10, 15, 20 miles to get to a scouting program that is readily accessible to them in their local area. And with that note of membership, we have just recruited a new vice president of membership that officially will join us at our annual meeting in September. And very excited to have her on board and looking to great things from her. The other thing I would mention, the last thing I would mention before we bring Mark in and chat with Mark a little bit about training, is the fact that we keep hearing also things from National, the conference that we're on from National, with National. So much of what we're talking about and hearing is continuing to meet. And I'm really concerned about any of our units that might not be meeting at this time. We've got to keep scouting out there. There's plenty of ways that we can continue to scout, whether it's virtual or in person. I think we've seen some great things as far as the way our units are still following the state guidelines, the scout guidelines for meeting in person, but being able to get into the outdoors. So please make sure that your unit's meeting. If you're not meeting, you're in a unit that isn't currently meeting, please let us know. We have all kinds of resources that we can help with. So if that's an issue for you, please, again, let us know, and we'd be more than happy to help. That being said, we've kind of kicked off, and Randy, I will throw it to you, see if you have anything to chat with before we talk with Mark a little bit about training.
It's just amazing how these technical difficulties keep arising. I just, you know, I lost track of time this evening, and then for some reason I could not get things to just work out right from a link standpoint. So best laid plans of mice and men, that sort of thing. Yeah. You did you update everybody? Just catch me up, Scott. Did you update us on the Camp Baker and
talked about Camp Baker, talked about next week's Cub Day Camp, and then talked about membership and our new VP of membership, and you know what our plans are moving forward, and then just talked about making sure that we are working the scouting program, that we're making sure that our units are meeting in some fashion, and so we don't lose our scouts. We keep their interest.
Yeah, exactly. And we're continuing to move forward and innovate here and there where we can. You know, what we're doing right now is an innovation that, you know, we're not sitting on our laurels waiting for the world to pass us by. We're about to shift gears on the way we manage Roundtable, as a for instance. That's another innovation that is not directed, but it's one of those things that makes perfect sense to us in today's world. I know that Mark Sandefur is continuing to innovate as well, and I'm real pleased to have him aboard tonight to talk with us again about training from kind of a higher level standpoint. Mark, you want to introduce yourself, and let's see where we go from here?
Will do. Thank you, Randy. Scott had asked me a little earlier to talk about some of the things that the troop I'm associated with, Troop 179, 4179, is we just finished our summer camp events, which is our own version of our summer camp. We did, you know, we were a little bit piggish. We kind of took Weyerhaeuser Woods for 3 weeks, and it ended yesterday for the youth. Tomorrow's an adult work day and some training, but the way we did it was we met for the 3 days. The scouts went home for a night. We came back for 3 more days. The scouts went home for a night. And we've had several scouts work on, we're going to have 3 or 4 scouts getting their next rank. Many scouts got merit badges almost complete, 1 or 2 items left. one scout asked a question about freedom of speech. I've got it. So there you go. It's like, well, guess what? We started a discussion, and we started the law merit badge just because we took an opportunity and turned it into a good learning opportunity. And the kids had a blast. So
That's cool.
So 179 continues to meet virtually and in person. And for the scouts who attended, they got one of these.
There you go.
Out of curiosity, Mark, what percentage of the youth in your unit were actually out there?
Of our active members, because we have a couple on the books that are no longer with us, unfortunately, I would say about 85% of our scouts were here. We actually had a new scout who was very interested in joining us come out for the first couple of sessions, and he decided, hey, I'm going to come out all the times you guys are here. And so we actually may have a new scout out of it.
Good. Good.
It was also
so
great.
They're anxious to get out there and do some scouting, aren't they?
Oh, they were having a blast. You should have seen some of the improv they were doing at our campfires on our long days. The campfires were so funny.
Improv can be a good thing or a bad thing. So
yes, it was both. It was both. It was like, oh my God, you just didn't say that. And there was a couple even the adults were on the ground laughing. It was so funny. But I mean, as I said, every scout got their own mask, and we practiced social distancing. We had a ring around the main fire pit here, cones set every 6 feet apart. They were allowed to have their chair by their cone, and that's how they maintained that. And then the chow line had, 4 cones set 6 feet apart. Each scout and patrol would go up and, in their turn, get in line. And the hand washing station had the cones 6 feet apart. So we practiced great social distancing, and yet made it kind of fun.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's important. Very good.
So on training for the council, I went to go look at some of the data today, and it has improved since when I've made my presentation that we'll see here in a little bit. Some good numbers have come up in several of the districts. Training has improved. Looks like people are getting online to do some of it. Unfortunately, it looks like YPT is sliding a little right now. And I'm working with the unit commissioners of identifying, in the commissioner corps of, hey, let's reach out and talk to these folks. Why are they not getting their YPT done? We still have one district, Yakina, who, as far as I could tell, is still 100% YPT. So shout out to those folks. I'm going to kind of share a screen here with y'all so you can see what I'm talking about on some of this information. This was going to be a presentation last March. I know, death by PowerPoint, right? And one of the big things we need to talk about with training is it only takes 3 seconds to lose a leader. As Dean Gamble would put it, the 3-second rule. So long and thanks for all the fish. I'm out of here. A good training, good leaders, good support to those leaders is the key to not losing adult leaders. In the council, we have some great trainers up in Yakina. We have Mike Rice and Kelly Brown and Jay Scheitz working up there. Greenwood, we've got some great trainers here. Doug Furr's working on a couple of trainers down there. Another Mike Rice. Chinook, a serious shout out to Anita Thompson for covering Chinook and Wacoma. Because Anita is, you give her, hey, Anita, we need this class get out there. She is on the ball. we need to set some of the best practices for being a trainer, best practices for what kind of training we want to reach out to our leaders with, of promoting the online training. It's 3.5 hours for most of the online classes. It's not that long. You can do it in short increments. 30 minutes a day for a week, and you're done with that kind of information. My favorite of training is face-to-face. Let's sit in a classroom. Let's talk. Let's share those war stories of, I have a scout that's been doing this. You do too? How are you solving that? That is how some of the best information is spread, is given, and that training can continue in forums such as this via Zoom. I'm hoping here soon that we'll be able to start some of these trainings via Zoom. Rob has told me that the council does have a paid Zoom account, so using that, we can not have to worry about the 40-minute time limit set by Zoom on their free accounts. But even without it, 40 minutes, that's enough to hold a troop meeting, a virtual troop meeting, a small classroom of working on your committee members. That's the largest group of untrained in the entire council, is committee members. 30 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week, or 2 or 3 times a month, you can get that committee training done. The personal coaching, the one-on-one. Tomorrow, 179, some of its leaders, we have a new female scoutmaster for the 179. She needs IOLS. We're going to do a one-on-one training for her and 2 of our adults who go camping with us a lot of, okay, here's the syllabus. Show me how you do lashings and knots, and make me a structure. You know how to do it? Great. Check mark, done. Cook me lunch. Make an axe yard and split some of this big pile of wood out here at Weyerhaeuser Woods. Plant identification. Eugene has done a great job of working out here, and we have a nice list of all the plants that or could start on a list of the plants that are here. So we can take that and we can work on a one-on-one training for our leaders. The online training, it's available. It's the standard, a lot of the standard that National is going to. It's a great basis for all of your training to get an idea. Then you go to roundtables. Roundtables are to be centers of excellence. Going to a roundtable, talking, listening to other scout leaders, listening to Randy Hill get up there and make presentations, and that kind of information.
You're making me blush.
Thank you. I've succeeded. These are most of the classes that we as trainers in the Green Lane County we offer. 2 of them are outdoor, having to come out and play in the wonderful woods right behind me, of Intro to Outdoor Leadership and Baloo. Most of the other stuff can be done either online or in classroom settings. And my favorite, when I need to kind of reset on my training, is I will hold a youth course. Get out there and see the kids, teach a course to the kids, have some fun, learning ILST and Den Chief. That's a great way to relax. Now we talk about our training calendar we have a short window because, as it's the summertime. We want our scouters out in the woods, the outing and scouting. So our non-training months talk about June, July, and August, because where are people? Out camping, out doing summer camps. You talk about November, December, and January, Klondike, other winter cross-country skiing, that outing and scouting. during the training months, September, October, and half of November, we have a lot of the basic introduction courses to Scoutmaster, Den Chief, Cub Leader training, Disabilities and Awareness course. I love that one. It's a great course, and we all need to be aware of some of the things that a lot of the scouts are having trouble with. We get, and then in our training, we get down to March, April, and May, and it's those Cub parents that are going to be transitioning to scouting, and they want to get ready to be scout leaders. So we offer the training again there. And of course, the IOLS in blue, because it's summer. We want everybody out having fun. Now, some of this here is just a base template that we want to use as our guidelines for, our training season. Starting every August and ending every mid-August to mid-August is the training calendar we shoot for. And as you can see, this is from last year. And we start off with our committee challenge, our treasurer course, more committee challenge, because we want committee members to be able to support their scout leaders or Cub leaders the best they can. Because in training, our goal is it's for the kids. Every scout deserves a trained leader. I think that's one of Baden-Powell's quotes, right? So, and it's a good standard.
So where does all this take us to today, Mark?
Well, one of the things that we're trying to work on is here of cross-district training of, okay, if I have a course in Lane County in the middle of September and you can't make it from Doug Fir, then maybe in October or November that same course could be held in Chinook.
Is that happening now? I'm working with the trainers in those districts to implement the calendar as I showed you earlier, and this is our end goal. We are almost ready to implement this. It gets down to working with the fact that we have some communication problems because of COVID-19. We can't get the leaders into a meet or trainers into a meeting to start, but we are, Anita Thompson and Mike Rice and myself, and Jay Scheit and Kelly Brown agreed this is a great plan. It's just implementing it, and the COVID-19 situation slowed us down a little bit. Okay, so let me intrude just a little bit. So where is this going to be publicized so that our scouters can get at this training from a regional standpoint? Yeah.
Hopefully here soon, once I've talked a little bit more with the council now, since that's where the level I'm at now, and I'm still learning those ropes as I'm going along. But as soon as I get council approval, I'm hoping to get this onto the council website under training.
Can I see a question here from somebody that says, where would they find this on the council website?
I would have to look. I can't pull it up right now to show you, but under leaders where it says get trained, I'm hoping to, my goal and my wish is to have it in there for them to see, this is our training plan. This will be the training calendar for the year. If you're in Wacoma and you can make it to Doug Fir, or as you see in the small map, if you can go to, I think that's the Crater, if you happen to see there's a course at the Crater Lake Council, I want to talk to the training folks for those councils and say, hey, if our folks come to your training, please send me a note so I can get it into their training, or that our trainers can get that into their training on our side. Because I've run into where scouters up in the Yakima district went to training at Camp Meriwether in the Cascade Pacific Council, and that training never made it to our database.
Yeah,
It was outside of the council.
Yeah, let me ask another question here. Rob, you're
Yes,
in
sir.
the background. Rob, can you pull up where this is shown on the council website? Can you show that to us?
I'll have to stop sharing. There
Yeah.
you go.
If that's okay.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
no problem.
that hasn't been posted yet. But Mark's absolutely correct. It would be under 4 leaders and then get trained. That would be a great place for us to post that information.
And that's on the basic menu of the council website. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. So when the audience goes there, then they can find that. And Mark, are we going to see that here pretty quick, do you think?
Yes, sir. Now that my time with 179 planning our great summer event is winding down, I'm definitely more dedicated to training now.
Yeah.
Mark and I were talking before Fireside started tonight, and he and I are going to get together next week, and we'll get some things updated.
Yep. And you talked about the virtual Cub Camp and how you have some folks coming from other states. 179 hosted 2 virtual merit badge events, and we had, in the first one, 3 youth from the state of New York and 1 youth from Nevada. And in the second one, we had 1 youth. He was from out of state. I don't remember which one, but we had several from Cascade Pacific Council join us. And so, I mean, I'm glad to hear that the same is stepping over into the Cub Day Camp. And yes, 179 is planning another online merit badge fair now that we're kind of done panicking.
2 comments, Mark. First of all, so one of the sessions I was on today with the national training that was going on, or conference that was going on, they were talking about a Polaris training, and one of the comments somebody made was, you know, the online version of training is better than nothing, but if you have the opportunity, do the in-person training. And I love the fact that you mentioned that's your preference. That's my preference as well. I would almost say to the people out there, go take the online trainings that you can take. And that's a great start.
Yes.
You know, that checks off the boxes. But if you have the opportunity to take that in-person training, that's where you get a wealth of resources, a wealth of information, and you start making those connections with people that, you know, like you said, have the same situation and have faced the same situation in the past, people to talk to about things that are happening in your unit that might have worked for them.
Well,
Yeah, bit of networking and common knowledge and that sort of thing. Yeah, absolutely.
well, that's part of my philosophy is, yes, take the online training, please, because to me, that's like the book work. And then come attend a class where you can listen to, you know, sometimes people go, oh God, not another war story. But yes, come to that, listen to, oh yeah, we had that problem with that scout. We fixed that by giving them an assignment. Their job every meeting was to do X.
Yeah.
You know?
The other thing that I will tell you, the other comment I was going to make, Mark, was I was very impressed with the fact that before you stepped into this role at the council level, you were really the training chairman, and I guess it ended up being really pretty much for the Lane County area.
Yes, sir.
But I loved your willingness to make a trip down to Coquille, to the South Coast, to help put on a training down there. And I think that's one of the things that, you know, that our hopes are, is that we can all support each other in each of our service areas. And if there's a need in Brookings, or there's a need in Lincoln City, or there's a need somewhere, we can put a team together to go out and help make that happen.
Yes, sir. That's one of the wonderful things that the COVID has really reminded me of is we are a team. We are together on this, and we can find ways to adapt and overcome the obstacles of social distancing.
Yeah, we just really have to want to do scouting And if you want to, or then you start functioning in cans and not can'ts. It
Correct.
makes a big difference.
And it took about a month and a half, or about a month after we were shut down, and 179 agreed as a whole to do Zoom meetings. And then when the state let us go to phase 2, we would go do an event at one of the local parks, and then the next week was a Zoom meeting to give that 2 weeks between face-to-face contact. And of course, you had to have your mask at the parks. And I'm surprised that I'm hearing so many groups aren't meeting. I'm just like,
yeah. So Mark, we're about to wrap up here. Let me let me ask you, if you had an overall idea of what we ought to be doing from a training standpoint, and why we would do that, what would you say why we should have training done?
Why should we have training done is one simple reason. We're here for the kids. They deserve our best, and that requires us to be trained to our best so we can give them the most excellent program that scouting is. My son's almost done with his Eagle, and I'm proud of him. He's working on his Eagle. I'm proud of him, and I'm glad I was a trained leader for him and with a troop that had trained leaders to say, okay, no, let's do this. And I'm not saying the troops that don't have trained leaders don't offer a program. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate everything you do. Anybody in scouting does, because we're here for the kids.
Yep.
My goal would be, let's get trained, folks. It's just one more thing in the magazine that we can use to help these kids.
Yep, exactly. Well, we'll look forward to seeing this training plan come to fruition and get it up on the website and that sort of thing. One of the things that we're doing from the Commissioner Corps standpoint is we're pointing people at getting trained and improving our skill sets all the way around. As we wrap up here, we're 2 minutes after the hour. Is there anything from the audience that we need to address right quick? Okay. And for those,
I think Scott was going to have a comment just a moment ago.
Yeah, and then I lost it. It may come to me. We'll see.
Thank you guys for doing this. Like Scott mentioned earlier, when Mark came down and helped train our several people here, because some people prefer the in-person training versus virtual. But I like what Scott said. I agree with going forward with virtual training, if we can, because we're all stuck at home right now. But that really helped a lot of people. And Mark has solid recruiting skills where he actually recruited Anita to come on to be our training person for Chinook and Waukoma. So it was a win-win there that we trained more people, and he did a good job as far as recruiting her to be on board. So that's the only thing I want to reflect on about this meeting as far as what we're covering. But yeah.
And I would like to give a quick shout out real quick. I'm sorry. To Jay Scheit, my predecessor in this position. I hope to learn more from Jay. He's taught me a lot already, and continue to hope that he's a great resource for the council.
Sounds great, Mark. Thanks for being with us tonight. We've enjoyed the conversation. For those of you who are going to look
I think Scott's got something.
Huh? What?
Just real quick, I was just going to say, Mark, you talked about it when Randy asked why they should take training. Sorry, Randy. But again, on one of those sessions I took today, they showed a survey that they had taken of people that have been involved in scouting and why they left. And the top 2 reasons were just basically unorganized meetings, unorganized leaders.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for your comments. Let's wrap up. We're 4 minutes after, and for those who are on a tight time frame, that might be important to us. So we'll look forward to doing some more of this. We've got Carrie Hardray talking about Wood Badge next week. We'll look forward to it then. Thanks, and let's scout on, huh?